but I think about what is consistently gonna matter to every single person here for the rest of their careers. And that consistent thing that I wanna focus on today is underpriced attention. Underpriced attention is very important. And underpriced attention falls into two categories, math and art. What I mean by underpriced attention is which ad product today is a good deal. I built my daddy's liquor store like you saw in that video because I had 90% open rates on an email newsletter that had 100,000 people on it in 1997. Let me say that nice and slow for everybody in the back. 90% open rates. That's unheard of. That's not real in today's world. That 90 went to 50% in the first 2 years, not because we were bad at it, but because the world had started using email marketing and people were getting tired of it. But when I was doing it, nobody was doing it, and it worked. I bought Google AdWords for the store the day Google AdWords came out. And for the first year, I owned the word wine for 5 cents for 4 months. And then for 10 cents when they raised the price, it used to be a 5-cent click for the first few minutes there. And then obviously it had to be Cabernet, and then it obviously had to be Silver Oak Cabernet, and then it had to be Silver Oak 2016 Cabernet. And a lot of you in this room know that. The math part that you play to win in the ecosystems of where you sell are toll booths. And that's fine, they deserve it. Amazon, Walmart, others, they deserve it. They have the attention, you're paying for it. That's right. I love when people get mad at social networks. They're like, fucking Zuckerberg fucked me, the algorithm. And I'm like, it's free. It's fucking free. The audacity of people is fascinating. The platform's free. For every selling marketing person here, everybody, the concept of something that's free that can sell stuff is insane. Of course, net, it's not free. Got a production company, things of that nature. But most people when they start should only be doing it themselves on their phone, and it's free. So the math part is something that doesn't interest me to go deep on because my intuition is a lot of people play within that framework. You're not at this place if you aren't relying on some level of math. You understand that. The part that I want to focus on is why I got so excited about what she had to say, which is the art part. As many of you know, iOS 14.5 update hurts some folks. There's a lot of other things coming down the pike in moats that are going to continue to hurt. And what does that mean? It means that as math plays out its game on the internet and the big corporations play their politics with each other and play, when I think about smaller businesses, and I'm talking about businesses doing under 100 million a year in revenue, under 50 or 25 or 10, we, me included, must really understand the art part of underpriced attention for our businesses. This is all fancy jargon for one simple thing. The single thing that can change the majority of businesses in this room is an obnoxious, and I mean obnoxious, commitment to organic social media creative as an opportunity to take advantage of the TikTokification of social media that will be the next half decade. The day-to-day tactics of what I'm saying. You take your product, and whether through reaching out to influencers at scale and paying, which can be very underpriced or overpriced depending on your skill set of understanding what you're buying, and you should put some real homework into it. But more importantly, your ability to create internal production capabilities to produce ungodly amounts of short form video content is important, not just because it goes viral and maybe you'll sell some stuff, but there's so much more complexity to it, and I'd like to share it with you. Let's just use the boots with the rubber thing. You take the boots, you make a fucking boot video, I don't know, pour champagne in it and drink something out of the boot like my old Russian uncles used to. You make the video. If the video catches lightning, and my prediction is that these platforms are about to go more extreme. Actually, how many people here are producing social media content for their business at all like once a day? Forget about the 5 a day, like at all as a driver for their business. Raise your hands. All right, a little bit more, but still quite a few not, which is just great. Like I'm pumped about this. Right now, because about half the room, or maybe we're just lazy this morning, but about half the room doesn't, I just want to update you on how it's been. For the last 5 years on Instagram and other platforms, your views were basically in the same pocket, except the occasional thing, right? They were in the same pocket. It was so based on who follows you. That's a consistent understanding. In TikTok, you can post something and get 600 views, the next one 90, and then the next one 400,000. I actually think that extremity over the next decade is gonna get more extreme on every platform because it's in the best interest of the people on the other side. So I think those numbers could get as extreme as in 3 years from now, we're getting videos, depending on how good you are at it, where you're getting 7, 20, 50, 30, 90, 4 million. Why is this important? Today, if you take action this week on this talk, as we clarify through Q&A, which is why I wanted to do more, because I'm sure there'll be questions, and you say, fuck it, I'm gonna do this. When something goes viral, there's a very substantial thing that has to happen. One, and very few people are doing this at this point, you have to turn that brand piece of content into brand formants. So you take the viral post and you rejigger it, you edit it slightly or you change the copy, you change the URL potentially even in your profile, and you take it and you run ads against it as a performance ad driving to your Amazon, your Shopify, your own site, or wherever you are. You turn the brand piece of content because consumers have shown you that they're interested in it, and you turn that into the creative ad. These creative ads matter because they're very different than intent-based ads or retargeting ads because they have a different feeling. It's the reason someone buys your product that really matters in this scenario and what the value of that customer is versus somebody you made submit in a pre-iOS 14.5 world on the 17th retargeted ad and they bought it. I mean, I know people who buy stuff just because they got retargeted so much, they just wanted it to stop and they just bought the fucking thing. That's not a good relationship. But also, it's the insight. One thing that is happening in this community when I watch it, when I see a lot of you talk with each other on social, when I get the emails in detail, when I talk to my friends that are in it, one thing that we don't spend enough time in this realm is on the consumer insights from the comments on the creative. A, as we can tell by the room, we're not doing enough creative. B, we're not spending time in the comments. The comments have all the insights. This goes back to the R&D or what could be the single insight that leads to the campaign or the product advancement that actually takes you to the next level within your business. Many of you are playing such strong, great arbitrage that you're looking for the next arbitrage without realizing the arbitrage you currently have is the play. You just have to build it in a slightly different way to a different scale. That comes from the marketing side. That comes from the art side. That comes from the consumer insights side. So when the post goes viral, the ability to turn it into a direct response ad that I know will play for this room is important, but the ability to understand how to then make a $20,000 video that takes the insights you got from that one piece of social media ad and have the ability to turn that $20,000 video into a biddable streaming service ad as a commercial, Hulu, Amazon Prime, what Netflix is about to do, is the way that a lot more businesses in here on that single product go from $1 million a year business that's running math, arbitrage, and showing up first in a search result within a platform to becoming a $57 million a year business on its own merit that is not at the mercy of the toll booths. To me, that is the most significant moat and opportunity of the next half decade for the profile of this room. Understanding that if you can get religious about social media creative by creating, and I'll go even more tactical. You've got a product, you step back, you decide we need to make this product relevant for 50 different consumer segmentations. 18 to 22-year-old dudes who skateboard on the West Coast, yoga moms in the Pacific Northwest, diehard Jets fans who grew up in New Jersey, and on and on and on. You create these targets, that then helps you make the content. It gives you a framework of like, okay, because you know what it is, right? I know, like what am I gonna make? Like 10 a day, fuck you, you know? When you have consumer segmentations, you kind of understand why you're doing it. You can start conceptualizing to whom and what. You start making this creative and you let the algorithms work in your favor. Everyone's boo-hoo-hoo about algorithms because they wanted a couple more likes. This room can build their absolute empire on the back of algorithms. They're empty pipes. They either beat you or you beat them. And I feel like this is a room that wants to beat them. I really do. I don't think you're at this conference for kicks and giggles. I also think this room is full of shit, like every room, because they talk about grinding and doing things, but they tend to stay on the things they like. We all do. I do too. And I really understand how awesome it is when you understand quant and math and all these things, and you understand the platforms and how they work and best practices. The problem is, that's a commoditized piece of information.